The word geothermal is a combination of two Greek root words, geo meaning earth and therm meaning heat. Geothermal energy utilizes water 4,000 miles from the surface of the earth that is heated through the movement of continental plates and the decay of radioactive particles. This energy source is found around the Ring of Fire and volcanic activity sites. Water from these places sinks and gets heated and then rises until it is stopped by impenetrable rock and becomes a hydrothermal reservoir. Geothermal energy is typically used for direct heating or cooling purposes, electricity generation, or geothermal heat pumps. A geothermal heating system works through an underground piping system that pumps a liquid through the pipes that absorbs the heat, and a heat exchanger converts the heated water into heated air to warm the building. A geothermal cooling system works in reverse, absorbing the heat inside the building and pumping it back into the earth. Geothermal energy can conduct electricity by tapping into a stream or hot water reservoirs, where water is sent through a steam turbine, where the thermal energy is converted to electricity using electromagnetic induction. Geothermal heat can pump water near the Earth's surface to control temperatures above ground.
Now, geothermal energy does have some negative health effects, but what energy source doesn't? And compared to all the dirty, polluting fossil fuels, geothermal looks pretty good. The main worry is the release of hydrogen sulfide, a toxic gas that can possibly cause eye damage at concentrations of 50 parts per million by volume, or ppmv, and death at concentrations above 1,000 ppm. However, there have been few deaths concentrated at that, and to get to that concentration, you have to be exposed to a large amount. And however, the most annoying issue with geothermal energy is just an annoying odor. But if a little smell is all that you have to deal with for helping save our have a more cleaner energy and help our Earth, then why not do it? And what happens is when hydrogen sulfide hits the atmosphere, it oxidizes into particulate sulfur, and that's what kind of causes the odor. And if the hydrogen sulfide emissions of a geothermal plant are regulated to 1 gram per second, then that minimizes the odor and the harmful effects to a negligible amount. So it's really nothing to worry about. With controlled sulfide emissions, we predict only 0.3 premature deaths over the next 30 years. In addition, mercury is often present in geothermal water and gases. Prolonged exposure to mercury could, and I say could, possibly induce neurological diseases like tremors. However, the risk is small and only if you live very close to a plant. Radon and arsenic are also sometimes found in groundwater and surface water close to geothermal plants, and can possibly cause lung cancer and skin cancer respectively. However, what doesn't cause cancer nowadays? You can get cancer from basically anything. So the risk is very small. And the actual plant is a pretty safe operation with under 15 accidental deaths per projected 10 to the 18th power joules of electricity. So compared to a coal plant with high rates of explosions, or if a possible nuclear meltdown, all the thousands of hundreds of deaths that could happen there, geothermal looks pretty great.
Overall, geothermal energy is environmental friendly. Emits only a fraction of the air pollutants. A negative kind of impact, it has the common hazard of emitting hydrogen sulfide. It comes from large amounts of dissolved minerals and salts found in streams or hot water. Hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide is emitted, like I said before. No negative effects on vegetation would occur. It would likely kind of benefit the plants, kind of allow them to grow even faster. If geothermal fluids spills occur, less than 5 HA of land is affected if nothing was used to halt it. Water use is non-exhaustible. Commercial and residential buildings use geothermal to heat or cool. No-brainer. Geothermal has some benefits for the big businesses. For example, geothermal heat pumps, or GHPs, GHP takes advantage of the difference in temperature between Earth's surface and subsurface. It fluctuates only slightly. It's much cooler in the summer and warmer in winter than the air temperature. Benefits from GHPs: it produces the low carbon dioxide emissions, 2, low operation costs, and 3, it's highly effective. The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, rates that the GHPs are most effective heating system available. They're 2 out of 3 times more effective than other heating methods.
Geothermal power requires no fuel and is therefore immune to fuel cost fluctuations. However, the capital investment into geothermal power is expensive. Drilling often accounts for over half the cost, and exploration of deep resources has a lot of risks attached to it. A typical extraction and injection pipe in the state of Nevada can output about 4.5 megawatts, but often costs about $10 million just to drill, and that in itself has an average of a 20% failure rate. In total, the construction of the power plant as well as drilling can cost about $2.5 million to $6 million per megawatt of electrical output. Enhanced geothermal systems usually tend to be on the higher side of this range, with capital costs above $4 million per megawatt. However, the main advantage that allows us to use this energy source on Mars is that geothermal energy is highly scalable. This means we can shrink down a huge multi-megawatt power plant into a smaller plant of, say, 10 kilowatts to suit our needs more appropriately, as well as to drastically lower the cost, probably to around $1,000 to $3,000 per kilowatt. This smaller scale allows us to bring geothermal energy to Mars without sacrificing too much space on the ship, as well as not breaking the bank for price.